So now this is another complex, hexaamine cobalt 3 ion. So if you want to find out the hybridization state, as you know cobalt, its atomic number is 27. So electronic configuration will be argon, then 4s2, then 3d7. Now since here cobalt exists as 3 plus source, so cobalt 3 plus ions electronic configuration, 2 electron will remove from here, 1 electron will remove from here. So the configuration become argon 3d6 4s0. This is the electronic configuration of cobalt 3 plus ion. Now I'll write the electronic configuration of cobalt 3 plus ion in box, only the valence shell configuration. So valence shell contains 3d6. This is 3d, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 3d6, 4s 0, no electron. Then you will get 4p, no electron. Now here the ligand is ammonia. Since ammonia is weak ligand, so the electron do not undergo pairing. Carbon monoxide, cyanide, strong ligand, that's why they undergo pairing like that. But due to presence of weak ligand, here the electron will remain same. They do not undergo pairing. Now since they do not undergo pairing, so now the vacant orbital available 1 2 3 4, but here ligand is 6. They will donate 6 pairs of electron, and that is why it requires 6 vacant orbital. So that's why how do you get 6 vacant orbital, but here 4 are available. What you have to do, you have to take next 4d orbital to undergo hybridization. This is the 4d orbital of cobalt 3 plus. Since there is no vacant orbital in 3d, that's why you have considering the 4d orbital. Otherwise you don't get the 6 vacant orbital. So now electronic configuration of cobalt 3 plus in the complex hexaamine cobalt 3. 3d will remain same because ligand is weak, that's why they do not undergo pairing. 1 2 3 4 5 6, 4s is vacant, 4p is vacant, 4d is also vacant. Now we require 6 vacant orbital due to presence of 6 ligand. So since these are not vacant, so I will consider 1s, 3p and 2d from outer side. That's why the name will be something different. First time s, then 3p, then 2d, and that's why this hybridization is called sp3d2 hybridization. So that is why after hybridization 3d remains same. Now they will form 6 hybrid orbital. They will form 6 hybrid orbital like this, and they will be named as sp3d2 hybridization. This is called sp3d2. So like this way you will get 6 sp3d2 hybrid orbital, and these 3 4d they do not involve in mixing, that's why they will remain same. Now the ligand ammonia, NH3, there are 6 ammonia ligand. So these are the 6 ammonia ligand. Now this nitrogen will donate the electron pair from ammonia, and it will enter in the vacant hybrid orbital of cobalt. So like this way they undergo hybridization and they form the bonding between the ligand and the metal. So now what type of hybridization it shows? Hybridization will be sp3d2 hybridization, and due to sp3d2 hybridization its structure will be octahedral, and since it contains number of unpaired electrons, that's why the complex is said to be paramagnetic in nature. So it undergo sp3d2 hybridization. The shape of the complex will be octahedral, and the magnetic property of the complex is paramagnetic. So now this complex and the previous complex as I have given, there are two types of hybridization. One is called D2sp3 hybridization and one is called sp3d2 hybridization. What is the difference between them? Here, if the d orbital is involved from the inner side, I mean if you involve d orbital from 3d, then it is called D2sp3. And if you consider the d from outer side, I mean if you consider from 4d orbital, then it is called sp3d2 hybridization. And both the hybridization will produce octahedral shape. But one thing you should know, if we use the d orbital from inner side, then this type of complex are called inner orbital complex. Inner orbital complex. And if we use the d from outer side like from 4d, then it is called outer orbital complex. This is called outer orbital complex. That's why one question asks, this complex acts as inner orbital complex, but this complex acts as outer orbital complex. Why? Then you have to show the hybridization like this way. Since it involved the inner side orbital, that's why it is called inner orbital complex. And since in hybridization outer orbital is considered, that's why it is called outer orbital complex. So if some hybridization involve inner d, it is called inner orbital complex, and in the hybridization if it use outer d in hybridization, then it is called outer orbital complex. Again, as you have got, if the electronic configuration contain unpaired electron, then it is called paramagnetic, and if all are paired, then it is called diamagnetic. But here you see here number of unpaired electron 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean number of unpaired electron present. As the number of unpaired electron increases, its paramagnetic character also going on increasing. That's why one question asks like this way, this one is weakly paramagnetic but this one is strongly paramagnetic. The reason is that if some contain less number of unpaired electron, then it will be weakly paramagnetic, but if someone contain more number of unpaired electron, then it will be strongly paramagnetic. So like this way, by applying this hybridization concept, you can explain this type of reasoning questions. Similarly, the question asks, this orbital, this complex will adopt tetrahedral shape, this complex will adopt square planar shape. Why? Then also you have to apply the concept of hybridization. Similarly, this orbital is inner orbital complex, this orbital is outer orbital complex. You have to apply hybridization concept. This orbital is paramagnetic, this orbital is diamagnetic. Why? Then also you have to apply hybridization concept and you have to show the paired electron, unpaired electron. Like this way you can explain the magnetic character of the complexes. Thank you.